in headquarters thinks it's stupid.
Mhm.
All right, Susie, like, who cares? I'm enjoying this. Susie's like,
Pool, pool.
what did I say?
Like jog around the pool. Don't jog around the pool. You're not allowed to run around pools.
It's like, this is a therapy session. Yes,
Yeah.
Nayla. And let tell me what else causes you this.
I'm like literally getting warm.
Yeah.
I was so nervous. What's up, spammers, and welcome back to another episode of the pod. And today we are going to be talking about New Year's toxicity. Before we get into the topic, though, guys, like and subscribe. We're
Yes.
saying it early. We're getting rid of it because apparently you guys only listen to about 20 minutes of our episodes. And shout out to the people who listen all the way to the end because we get funnier as the episode goes on. But if you are here right now, make sure you like and subscribe and make sure you check out all the links below. We'll explain all that stuff later on. But yeah, Crystal, hello. How are you doing?
Hello. I am doing well. I'm trying to get myself on a good schedule, a good sleep schedule, I guess I should say, so I can wake up by 5 a.m. So I've been struggling a little, trying to wake myself up. But other than that, I've been doing well. What about you?
I've also been struggling. It's just so cold. Like, I just don't want to wake up in the morning. But then also, it's so cold that when you like have to exit the house and go somewhere, it's like, I'm dreading going, right? And so recently, gyms are opening back up. And I went to the gym to take, my class, my Zumba class. And I noticed that the gym was packed.
Oh, yeah. That always happens.
I actually was so upset. I was like, why are all these people here? Like, it was last week, empty. This week,
New
full.
Year's.
Yeah. And it's just like, interesting. I was here last week. I'm here this week. Where were all of you? Yep.
Are you new here? Are you new here?
Yeah. Where were they?
That always happens. New Year's, everyone has that like little spark of motivation. So everyone signs up for the gym. But then, which is a good thing, I'm happy that people are trying to better themselves, but it's also like, are you going to be here next month? Like, and it is a little bit of a annoyance for people who go regularly because you're not used to having to wait so long for things because now like the gyms are packed. Like there's a lot of people. You're having to wait for the machines to open up only for them to be gone like next month. But yeah, no, hopefully everyone that's trying to improve their lives sticks with it and continues on past the little New Year's motivation that they get.
And I wonder why that is, right? Because I mean, personally, I go all the time, and when you're in a Zumba class, you're in a big room and there are many places to stand. But when you find your spot and you want to go to that one spot, and then some new person comes in and stands in your spot.
This is personal.
It's personal. It is personal. Because you know what? I have been going for so long, for so many years. And okay, yeah, maybe I should get there earlier. But that's the thing, is I have a schedule. I have a rhythm, and I've done it for so long. I know where my spot is.
And everyone else knows where your spot is.
Yes, everyone who's there, there's a group of us that are so consistent. And so we all have our spots. We all know where we stand. No one would dare. But these new people come in and like, I get it. You're new. I stand in the front though. So why are you coming to the front when you don't even know the moves yet? Like, I don't.
This really is personal.
Yeah, this is really personal. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. If you want to stand in the front, go for it. But let's get into it. These people come for the first week, first month, maybe first 2 months, and then slowly as the year goes on, we start to see less and less.
Yes. Has that ever been you?
No.
Really?
I can confidently say no. Not at the gym, at least.
That has been me.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because like I was there, like I've been there, the whole New Year's resolutions. You want to like get motivated to go to the gym. So you sign up, especially because like Platinum Fitness. Oh my God. It's first stutter of the day.
First stutter of the day.
And you should subscribe because of that.
We have lots of them.
Yes. No, so Planet Fitness and a bunch of other gyms, they have little promotions that go on in the new year,
Mm,
and everyone's trying to take advantage of it. Like I think right now Planet Fitness, oh my God, I can't say that word. Planet Fitness. Sound it
Planet
out.
Fitness,
Planet
Planet Fit.
Fitness.
Yeah.
um, they have like $1 promotion where you
Mm.
like sign up right now and you get a month for $1, but then after that they charge you the regular. So,
Hmm.
it's enticing to
Yeah.
like go and join a gym, but then it's if you don't go with the right mindset, other than just like, oh, New Year's resolution, New Year, new me, you're not going to want to stick with it. And then you're just going to give up. And halfway through the month, you're going to be like, I don't want to go anymore. Like, should I cancel? No, I don't want to cancel because I'm gonna go next month. And then you don't. And then you just kind of stay in that cycle. And then
Hmm.
Planet Fitness is the only one that is winning here because you keep paying them because you don't want to go cancel your subscription because you're too shy. And I speak from experience.
I take back what I said. I actually kind of have been that person, but
Mm-hmm.
my situation was a little bit different because I was in college and
Mm.
finals happened, and during finals, you can't, there's no way.
Yeah.
So different situation, but I have been there, and that they get you because you just are like you delay the canceling process. You're like, oh, I'll cancel it later, or like, oh, I'm probably gonna go, so like I just need more time, and like you never cancel it, and so they just
Yeah.
keep getting money.
Mm-hmm. And that always happens.
Yeah.
And like you it's almost like, you know what? Planet Fitness is your toxic ex. Like you just can't get away from
You
them. Like you
can't.
don't want to I was gonna say unsubscribe, but you don't want to, well, yeah, you do
You
unsubscribe, just
unsubscribe, yeah.
not by button. You actually have to
Cancel,
walk in
cancel
there.
membership.
Cancel membership, yeah. So you like have to go in there and cancel it, but you don't want to because you don't want to like face them and be
Hmm.
like, hey, I'm giving up on my goal, which you probably knew I was going to do. But anyways, you probably noticed me out of all these hundreds of thousands of people that walk in here every single day. You
Hmm.
know me, and now you're gonna know me for the rest of my life. And if I ever go to Walmart and you see me, you're gonna know I'm the girl who gave up.
Hmm.
I just take it personally.
I feel like if you were to even go up to them, they would somehow like coax you in and be like, why are you canceling?
Oh yeah.
Like, why? Why are you leaving? Don't leave
Oh
me.
yeah.
Literally your toxic ex. They're like, I'm so good for you. Why are you going away? Like, just
Mm-hmm.
stay. Just stay a little longer.
Give me another month, and
Yeah.
if it doesn't work out, then you
Then
can go.
sure,
You
go
can leave.
ahead. Cancel it after a
Yeah.
month. But then you come back a month later and they're like, no, 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 not yet. Just stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a repetitive process, which is it goes into obviously the problem is people can't stay consistent.
Yeah. That's the real issue.
That's the real issue.
So, have you ever had that issue where you wanted to do something, but you just couldn't be consistent with it?
Oh,
And how did
absolutely.
you overcome it? You're like,
The
I'm still trying to
overcome.
figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess fitness journey wise,
Hmm.
the this is so deep. It's I feel like it's very deep because
Hmm.
when I started working out, it was consistency's not easy.
Oh no.
But again, we talked about it in the fitness journey episode. I told myself I'm doing this for me.
Hmm.
And so that's how I became consistent with it.
Hmm.
I just got to keep telling myself like go do it. Like
Yeah.
just go. And you make it a habit.
Yeah.
And that's the
That's
only way I feel like you can stay consistent.
yeah, 100%. I think that that's what it is because like New Year's resolutions. Wait, first, before we get into it, do you think the word resolutions is toxic?
Yeah, so I looked up the definition.
Hmm.
And the definition of the word resolution is a firm decision to do or not to do something.
Mm.
And I do think that's toxic
Yes.
because the word, like saying it's a firm decision, like this is a resolution. I'm going to do this thing.
Hmm.
You're not like, there's no guarantee that you're going to do it.
Yeah.
It's not a given. Like, it's not something like, oh, when you're like, I'm going to go to the doctor.
Hmm.
Obviously you have to take yourself to the doctor to go.
Hmm.
It's not just going to happen.
Yeah.
So like it's that in between step that people miss.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. I also think the word resolutions is toxic, more so because growing up, it's what I would hear most. And it's
Mhm.
like, what are your New Year's resolutions? And whenever someone would say a resolution, they would never stick to it.
Mhm.
And so I think it just became this habit to set a resolution, but then not like go after it. So now instead of saying resolutions, I say goals. So I'm just redefining it, I guess, or like
Mhm.
giving it a new meaning. And one thing I've noticed about New Year's resolutions is most of the time, like if your resolution is to go to the gym, it's to look better for other people.
Yeah.
Or we said it in the fitness episode too. It's like this challenge that you create with other people who also set this resolution. And it's not necessarily that you're doing it for yourself, you're doing it for other people. Like other
Mhm.
people have influenced this decision. And so it's not until you make the decision for yourself that you want to do it for you that you'll be able to stick with it.
Mhm.
So I 100% agree with you that it's just about like saying, this is for me and
Yeah.
it's not for anyone else.
Yeah. And then, like, I think another thing that a lot of people tend to forget about is, like, it's not always gonna be perfect when you're consistent.
Mhm.
Say you plan to work out 4 straight days a week, right? Monday through Thursday, you're like, "I'm gonna go to the gym every day," but then
Mhm.
something comes up on Wednesday. That doesn't mean you can't go on Thursday.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you can't keep going the next Monday. Just
Yeah.
because you miss one day, that doesn't mean it stops all of a sudden.
Yeah. And that's where it's like it's kind of hard though, like having that mentality of like I don't know what you would call it, but just like for me, I've had this mentality before where you want to work out the 4 days, right?
Mhm.
And then you work out one, day 2, then day 3 comes up, something comes up, and then you're not able to do it.
Mhm.
So then you skip it. You're like, okay, I'll go the next day. But then the next day comes and you're like, oh, you know what? It kind of felt good to not go. Like you
Mhm.
remember how good it felt to not do this thing that you want to do.
You're, like, reverting back.
Yeah, and so you're
Mhm.
like, "Oh, you know what? I already rested yesterday. Let me just rest today, and then next week we'll start again. You know, we'll be
Mhm.
strong. We'll go the 4 days." And then
Mhm.
something happens, and then you just get stuck in that cycle again. Like, you have that motivation here on the first 2 days, but then that motivation's gone. You're hit with reality, and then now all of a sudden it becomes hard again, you know? It's like
Mhm.
I think because you get so dependent on the motivation, but motivation doesn't last. So, if you're only setting yourself up to do things based off of motivation, you have to change that. You have to change it to just doing it even though you don't want to.
Mhm.
And
That's
finding that
that's the biggest
time.
thing right there. Like,
Mhm.
doing it even if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I know like a lot of people say like, "Oh, well, I don't have time," or things come up. And like I understand that things come up, but like I think you really have to call yourself out. Like if there is time in your day, make yourself do it, you know?
Mhm.
A lot of people are like, "Oh, I didn't have time today," but I'm pretty sure they probably spent like an hour like watching TV.
I was gonna say, like, go look at your screen time.
Yeah.
Go look at your screen time, look at how many hours you spend on your phone.
Mhm.
You can take out some of that time, even if it's, like, 30 minutes. And that's the other thing with the whole time thing. I don't know, I've seen research maybe online, I don't know.
Mhm.
But if you start a task and you tell yourself, "I'm gonna work on this task for 5 minutes,"
Mhm.
you will more than likely continue to work on it for more than 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's literally I okay, so I posted a video today
Mhm,
and I took this part out because I'm like, "Oh, I can put it in a different episode."
mhm,
But I literally talked about how I'm watching the show You and it's addicting. I want to keep watching it, but I also had to edit.
mhm,
And so I basically like I set increments where like I find kind of like a balance. So I'll edit for an hour and then I'll watch an episode and then I'll come
mhm.
back and edit for another hour. I'll go back and watch an episode. But most of the times when I'm editing for an hour, I end up getting in this groove and I just keep
Keep
going.
going.
And then
Mhm,
I'm done. And I'm like, okay, well, now I have the rest of the afternoon to just watch the show.
mhm.
So you just have to like set yourself up for success. Like
I was
find
I was
is,
just gonna say that. It was
is that
literally,
what you're gonna say?
like, on the tip of my I was just gonna say that. But yes.
Twins. Yeah, no, so it's like you have to set yourself up for success. Like you know yourself best and you just have to call yourself out when you're
Mhm.
doing something that you shouldn't be doing and start doing the things that you actually want to achieve and just gotta get up even though you don't want to.
Yeah, and it's just like you said, setting yourself up for success. So even if it's like, oh, I'm gonna start this task, work on it for 5 minutes, whatever happens after that happens. Also, for working out specifically, set out your clothes ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
There was this is a funny story. Um, so I do a Saturday Zumba class, which is at 8 a.m., which for
Mm-hmm.
me on a
It's early.
Saturday, that's early. Okay. 8 a.m. because you have to be up at like I wake up at 7:30 so
Mm-hmm.
that I can, be prepared, you
Mm.
know. And so when the FIFA World Cup was happening, those games would start at 7 in the morning in
Uh-huh.
America. And so in West Coast America. And so what I would do is I would go to sleep in my workout clothes so that I could wake up and go straight to the couch and just watch soccer. And then by the time that my Zumba class was ready to go, I didn't even have to change. I'm warm. I'm not cold. I don't have to put on cold clothes. I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And
And that
you,
was one step that I
yep.
took in order to be consistent.
Yep. And you got to do both of the things that you wanted to do
Mhm.
because you planned it out.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if like I woke up because I woke up for the games at like 6:45 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine I wake up at 6:45. Again, this is early for me. On a Saturday? On a Saturday? Anyway, woke up at like imagine I wake up at 6:45 in my pajamas. I go sit on the couch, I watch soccer. By the time like 7:45 hits, do you think I want to change?
Mm-mm.
Like
You get comfortable.
I've been on the couch for an hour. I'm like watching soccer. Nah, I don't have to work out today. I'll just watch the game. I don't have to work out. But since I had already been in the workout clothes, I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't miss it now. I'm already ready.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's that setting yourself up for success. Like you know what you need to do,
Mhm.
and you still allowed yourself to do both of the things that you wanted to do. So, yay, go Nyla, because I know that she was probably struggling waking up so early.
I no joke. I just during the FIFA World Cup, like waking up at 7, well,
Hmm.
before 7, because the games would start at 7. And this was like consistently. This was like every day, basically.
Hmm.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like I would be up at 7 every day.
Yeah.
But like, where did that go? Let's talk about that because I don't wake up at 7
Yes.
anymore.
Yes. Yes. See, that's the thing is like you will do anything for the things that you just like want to do,
Mhm.
but for the things that you need to do, you find so many excuses to not do it. It's like this is a therapy session. Yes,
Yeah.
Nyla. And let tell me what else causes you this?
I no, I seriously like it's amazing to me that a couple
Mm-hmm.
months ago I was consistently waking up at 7 to watch soccer.
Mm-hmm.
But now, when I'm supposed to be, like, working on stuff and actually waking up, I'm like, "Let me lay in bed for a little bit. It's cold. I don't wanna get up, blah, blah, blah."
Yeah.
And it's just like, "Okay, why don't I" wow, me realizing I could wake up right now, because what I used to do is I used to wake up, I used to put on my comfy, the big blanket hoodie. I
Mm-hmm.
have one, and I used to put it on, and I used to go sit on the couch and watch soccer in my comfy. Why don't I
Mm-hmm.
do that with work?
Yeah.
Why
You
don't I get up,
totally can.
put on my comfy so I'm still warm? But no, no, because it's not something I wanna do, so I'm like, "Oh, let me lay in bed for a little bit," and I think, that's definitely something I need to work on.
Nyla just had a realization.
I really did, this just hit me so hard.
100%. No,
Mhm,
I've been there too. Like, I mean, I'm definitely now in a stage where like I know how to balance them out, and I wake up early because I know that I want to get things done, and I force myself to do it.
mhm,
But I've been there before where it's like I would give excuses for anything that I actually needed to do, but for the things that I wanted to do easily, like I would do them. I mean, tell me that we're going to go on a road trip, I will wake up at 3 a.m. I will be wide awake at 4 a.m.
mhm.
But if I need to wake up to like go to work, oh, I'm going to snooze until the very last minute
Like,
possible.
you're looking at the time like, "Oh, I have to get ready. Oops."
Yeah. Time to change. Speedy
Yeah.
Gonzalez. But yeah, no. It I wonder why like it's so easy to do that. Like what causes us to like justify doing the things that don't necessarily benefit us, but not the things that actually like need to get done.
It's one of the happy what is it, serotonin, dopamine? Which one is
So
it? It's one of them.
maybe maybe it's because with those it's like the instant gratification.
Yeah.
Whereas with like something that you're working towards, like you're gonna work for it for much longer, before you actually start to see like the results that you want.
Mm-hmm.
And so if it's taking a while, you end up getting that burnout, which a lot of people get with the New Year's resolutions. Perfect transition.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. Have you ever had a burnout
Oh,
situation?
absolutely. We have a whole episode about it.
Oh, that's right. I'm like, what's your
What's
podcast?
a
I can check it
burnout?
out.
Yeah, sorry for the spam. Check it out.
Subscribe down below
Yeah.
since you're already here.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, I know. Burnout is definitely one of the worst things to go through, especially when
Hmm.
you've started out being so motivated and then you get to that stage where you feel burnout. And then it's like all of this progress for you to just revert back to your old
Hmm.
ways. And it's really annoying. And then that puts you in that cycle of like feeling guilty, feeling bad for yourself. And then you just back at the beginning and you
Hmm.
have to wait again for that motivation. And then you do it again and then you burn out and then you go back on. But I think the thing is that people try to do so much at once.
Yeah.
That's the issue. It's like, again, going back to whole New Year's resolutions is we have all of these resolutions. I pulled out one of my journals
Hmm.
and I was just like, I didn't pull it out for this reason. I just pulled it out because I was like, oh, look at my
Let me
journal.
look
Let me
at it.
read through
Did you
it.
get that one from
Yeah.
Barnes& and Noble?
Yeah.
Nice.
And look at all my list of resolutions for the year 2015. I did not accomplish any of those. If you're
Hmm.
listening, there's 25. I numbered them.
Oh,
There's
you numbered
25
them. Good job.
resolutions. And did I do any of these during that year? I only did two of them. Now I'm doing everything that's on this list, which is pretty
Hmm.
cool, you know? But that just goes to show like it's a long game. It's not just like said it, I'm done, I accomplished it. All right, new year, new goals, and I just completely forget about all these goals I set the previous year. But yeah, I just thought that was funny because I'm like, I literally have 25 resolutions and I didn't do half of these.
Hmm.
But now I'm doing them. And it's because I realized that you can't do everything all at once and you got to be patient with yourself and you got to find balance and you got to work on creating those good habits in order for them to turn into long-term habits.
Hmm. And it's like, if you set the New Year's resolution, like, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. every day, plus I'm going to work out every day, plus I'm going to like eat healthy every day, plus I'm going to read a book every night. Like, if you set up all of these goals and it's something that you haven't been doing, it's something
Mm-hmm.
that's not part of your routine, that doesn't exist, and it's just non-existent. You're like, I'm gonna start doing this because new year, new me. You're not gonna
Mm-hmm.
accomplish all of that in 1 month.
Yeah, no.
You're not even gonna accomplish all of that in 1 week. I highly doubt that anyone who sets a bunch of goals like that starts accomplishing them.
Oh yeah, no.
And you have to take, like you said, it's like one thing at a time, or like do a couple things at a time. And like, I think it's in Atomic Habits. I'm not far in, but I
Mm-hmm.
think it's like you create a habit and then you associate your other habits with it. And so it
Mm-hmm.
becomes like a chain.
Yeah.
And so like waking up at 5 a.m. is one part of the habit, and then say working out right after is the
Mm-hmm.
second part of the habit, and it like becomes a chain. And so you
Yes.
just get used to doing it every day.
Routine.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. But you have to like do it enough to the point where it becomes a habit. Like you just do it. See, this is like it's not black and white. There's like
No.
so much gray area because when we think of routine, we think of boring. Like if I'm
Hmm.
being honest, I think of boring when I think of routine. But routine is essential
Hmm.
to getting to where you want to be. Like if you don't have a routine, you're just gonna like keep going in circles, basically. And I know because I speak from experience. Like before I
Hmm.
had a routine that actually worked for me, I was just kind of like waking up doing this here, waking up doing that there, but it was never consistent. It was
Hmm.
just like something I was picking up, putting down, picking up, and then I was like trying different things all at once. But now that I've established my routine and like I know what works for me, it's easier for me to keep up with it and like I'm continuing on with it and I'm actually seeing results because I don't just give up because I don't see the results right away, you
Hmm.
know? So it's about building that routine. And also, actually, now that we're quoting Atomic Habits, this is on page 46 of Atomic Habits. And this kind of goes in with the whole thing of like routine sounds boring.
Hmm.
Also, with routine, people feel very restricted because if you have a routine, then that means that you can't go out and have fun with your friends. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you have a routine to work out, and we talked about this in our fitness episode too. So these two episodes kind of like go hand in hand.
Yeah, these two and burnout.
Mhm. Oh yeah, all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
So with having a routine, sometimes you get so stuck in your routine that if you enjoy your routine, you start to say no to things that are fun because you're
Mm-hmm.
so used to your routine.
Mm-hmm.
And so from an outsider's perspective, hearing people say that, you think, oh, but I don't want to like have a boring life. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
still want to be able to go out and have fun. And like you still can with the routine. It's just about having that like um flexibility with your routine where like, okay, you know, this day, like you said it in there, like this day I'm gonna go and have fun. I'm gonna go out with my friends instead of my Zumba class. And it's okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's having that balance. But um it's just funny to hear people say that like routines are so restrictive, but on here it says habits do not restrict freedom, they create it. In fact, the people who don't have their habits handled are often the ones with the least amount of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so true. Without good financial habits, you will always be struggling for the next dollar. Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Without good health habits, you will always seem to be short of energy. Facts. And without good learning habits, you will always feel like you're behind the curve. Facts. That is why I've started picking up reading because I want to learn. I don't want to feel dumb because I no longer have to like study or like learn new things,
Yeah.
but I'm forcing myself to learn new things, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah,
always
that
important
just,
to keep learning.
yeah, it really is. But like
Mm-hmm.
once you're out of school, it just becomes so easy to not pick up a book again or to like learn something new.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you just have to force yourself. Like if you know what your problem is, there's a solution and you got to like work on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool when I read it because I'm like, that's so true. Like
Mm-hmm.
routine is not restrictive. In fact, it helps you live a more free life because now you're actually working towards the life you want instead of
Mm-hmm.
running in circles.
Yeah, and it's like balance, right? That's one main thing. And then another one is work hard, play hard.
Mm-hmm.
When you work hard, you can play hard.
Yes.
And that's why it's not play hard, work hard. It's work hard, play hard.
Yes.
So you got to like work in order to be able to go have that fun and do that, you know, go out with your friends and have fun activities. And a lot of people, I think about traveling a lot
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to habits. And like a lot of people, when they come back from travel, it's hard to get back into your routine.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I don't know if like having a routine when you travel that's different from your regular
Mm-hmm.
routine might help you like stay on track, but it's like it's so hard because you go from having your routine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go somewhere else. Like you probably experienced that a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Going from Arizona to like Monterey
Mm-hmm.
and like you had to change your routine a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, you just have to like readjust because like you're so used to your routine here, but then being somewhere new, it's like you have to figure out how and when you can work out.
Mm-hmm.
And so it does take a little bit of like this readjusting period, but I mean you always end up finding it. It's just it's hard because I think it's so easy to give up in that little
Mm-hmm.
period because
Yeah.
you can just so easily justify it as, oh, I'm on vacation. Let me just not work out. Let me
Yeah.
not go for a walk.
See, that's the thing, right? Like adjustments can be made.
Mm-hmm.
Say you're like a weightlifter, but then you go on vacation and you don't have that option anymore. You
Mm-hmm.
can still like get your activity in by going on a walk.
Mm-hmm.
Literally just like jog around the pool don't jog around the pool. You're not allowed to run around pools. Just like
Walk around the pool,
walk around the pool.
swim in the pool.
Yeah. Or like, you know, take a jog on the beach if you're at the beach or like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, go on a hike or something. Like
Yes.
you just got to adjust and find a new way to do it while you're not in your routine. And then when you come
Mm-hmm.
back, it may be difficult to get back on your routine. But again, this goes into the whole consistency thing. When you
Mm-hmm.
lose that and you're like, oh, I need a break, I need to take the day off, but you
Mm-hmm.
still need to get back on it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't take that day off and make that day into 2 days, into three, into a week, into a
Yeah.
month, and then like never get back on the routine.
Yeah. But that's where the struggle lies, is it
Mm-hmm.
how easy it is to fall back. Like it's so hard to build those habits and that consistency, but just it takes nothing for
To
you to
give up.
just fall back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Giving
And it
up so
happens.
easy.
Yeah. That's why like now whenever I do travel, like I still get my workout in.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we just went to Phoenix like not that long ago and I still worked out while I was over there. Like I found my way. I like looked at how the day was gonna go, and I'm like, okay, there's a time slot right here.
Mhm.
I can go get my workout in, because I know how easy it is to like go. I mean, and the thing is, like, you can still enjoy your trip and still keep up with your goals. You know,
Mhm.
like it doesn't have to be one or the other. And so I just had to like find that time throughout the weekend, to fit in my workout, and I still did it. And then I came back and it was as if like nothing happened, but I
Mhm.
still enjoyed my time over in Phoenix, you know?
Mhm.
It's like just continuing on with your goals. It doesn't have to be exactly the same every single day. You don't have to like wake up, work out, and then do all the other things. You could do like wake up, go have fun, come back, and then get your workout in, you know?
Mhm.
I think that's what a lot of people think is like, oh, it didn't happen exactly how I planned it. So now I have to give up. I'll try again next week, you know?
Mhm. And like we talked about it also in the fitness episode, but like sometimes there's two types of people, right? It's like I literally giving up and like just falling back and not continuing the routine, or it's like
Mm,
trying to make up for what you missed.
yeah.
It's like those are the two types of people in the world.
Which one are you?
Right, currently? Okay, see, that's the thing is I used to be the I'm just gonna give up. Like every time finals would roll around, I'm not gonna go to the gym when I have to study for a final. You
Hmm.
know, I genuinely don't have the time. I know people are like, you can still make time. I knew people who would still go to the gym, but like
Hmm.
personally, I wanted to dedicate my full time to studying.
Hmm.
I literally did not want to take a break.
Hmm.
And that's just the type of person that I was in college. And that's
Hmm.
okay.
Hmm.
But back then I wouldn't try to make up for it. Back then, the next semester would roll around and I would think about how good it was to just study and not do anything. And then I wouldn't go back to the gym.
Yeah.
And so now I'm the opposite where I'm like, ah, I should make up for that. I missed, like, I'm going on not a like vacation, but I'm going on a small trip to visit some family. And
Hmm.
like, I will more than likely not be working out. And
Hmm.
so I'm worried. Like, I'm already worried. I haven't
Mm.
even left yet, and I'm already worried. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to fill out my rings. What am I gonna do when I get back? Like, I need a double workout every day because I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm worried, but it's okay. Like, even if
Hmm.
you can't make time for it because you're, say, with other people constantly,
Hmm.
like I'm gonna be with my cousins. Like, I might not have time. I might not
Hmm.
be able to find a way, but that's
Hmm.
okay. It's okay to
Yeah.
miss a day. Like, it is okay. I think that's the biggest thing about like missing,
Hmm.
you know, when you're consistent and like I said, you miss that one day,
Hmm.
it's okay that you missed.
Hmm.
Just pick it back up.
Yeah.
Pick back up, back to normal. Back to normal.
Yeah. I think you just have to get in the right mindset for it too, though, because
Hmm.
I feel like both sides of that spectrum can be very toxic.
Oh
Like
yeah.
either thinking like, oh, I'm just gonna give up because I already like failed,
Yeah.
or oh, let me like make up for everything that I lost. So I think you have to just find that balance. Again, like you know yourself best. Like you know what you need to do in order to be able to keep up with your goals when you're faced with like different things coming up. And so I mean, like for like you know, you're gonna go on a week away, and like it's
Hmm.
okay for you to like take a week off. You know, if you know that you can come back and like get back on your routine, enjoy it. Like
Hmm.
don't stress yourself out thinking about that. But if you know that like you have to get a workout in, otherwise you're gonna lose that consistency, like go for
Find
a
time.
walk or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Figure something out. Take your
Yeah.
cousins with you. Like I could take
Yeah.
my cousin with me, be like, hey, let's go on a quick walk. Like I
Yeah.
need to get this out of my system. You can walk
Or
with me. We can talk. We can hang out. Just go with me.
spend time together. Yeah, I've done that before. Like when I was trying to build this like routine of being consistent,
Hmm.
but I also wanted to hang out with my friend Ruby.
Hmm.
I was like, hey, let's go for a picnic at the park and we can go for a walk. And, you know, I was very lucky that she was down for it because not everyone is down for
Hmm.
activity. But like she was down for it, and it was nice because she was also supporting me with that. Because I told her, I was like, hey, you know, I'm trying to like be consistent with my goals. I'm trying to like make sure that I'm working out. She was like, yeah. And like she would reach out to me. She'd be like, hey, do you want to go for a walk this week? I'm like, yes, let's go for a walk. You know, so it's just like finding that balance. Like, again, you don't have to do the same thing you do every day to keep that consistency, but it's just about like doing something to keep that consistency going.
Hmm. Okay, so on the scale, obviously you have like the people like the give up on one side, and then you have the I have to make up for it on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that I have to make up for it is another reason why like New Year's resolutions fail.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, right, we're going into a new year right after the holiday season. So we
Mm-hmm.
had Thanksgiving, Christmas for those who celebrate, or just, the days off the holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
And so you go into New Year's feeling probably a little bit guilty for, say, specifically talking about like fitness.
Mm-hmm.
You probably feel a little guilty for eating something or eating too
Mm-hmm.
much or whatever, like whatever you're feeling guilty about. Everyone's different. And
Mm-hmm.
so hypothetically, you feel guilty, you go into the new year, you go extra hard right
Mm-hmm.
at the start of the year. You like, I have to do this. I have to be healthy. I have to cut out everything. I have to do this. I have to do that. And you go so hard that you like, that's why you give up so fast. It's like
Yeah.
it's too difficult. It's too
Yeah.
difficult to like keep up this new I'm going hard mentality.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's like that just goes back to the whole like if you're doing too much at once, then you burn out easily.
Mm-hmm.
And so honestly, I think I feel like it's like a little like bouncing back and
It's a
forth. Like
pendulum.
yeah, like you start off, you feel so guilty, then you do the most, and you're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give up. And then you give up, and you're like, oh man, but I gotta make up for everything that I didn't do. Gotta go back to doing the most.
Mm-hmm. You
So
got to
yeah.
find that like middle ground.
Which is hard. It's
Mm-hmm.
so hard. But once you get there, it's like it's so much easier. But I think like what helped me personally is calling myself out. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I know what I was doing wasn't benefiting me. And so like if I actually wanted to, back to like the whole weight loss journey, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I knew that my eating habits weren't the greatest. Um but I had to like call myself out on it and be like, if I ever actually want to like live a healthier lifestyle and like feel good in my own body, then I have to stop doing the things that I've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that that's kind of like what helped me to be able to stay consistent because I know like when to call myself out. I know when I'm doing things that I don't want to be doing, and I know like what I should be doing, the things that I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really helped me. But yeah, I think taking ownership really helps because otherwise, like you just keep giving yourself excuses.
Mm-hmm. And I think going from 0 to 100 is not the best approach,
Mm-mm.
at least in my opinion.
I
Everyone's
agree.
different, but I think about the tortoise and the hare. Like slow
Mm-hmm.
and steady wins the race, right?
Yeah.
The hare gets burnt out and can't make it to the finish line, but the tortoise
Yeah.
started off slow. So the tortoise is going to make it because, energy saving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kids books,
Truthfully.
guys. Go read some kids books. That's the moral
Mm-hmm.
of the story.
Yeah. Honestly, go pick up a copy of the what is it called?
The
Rabbit
tortoise
in the
and the
Hare.
hare.
Oh, tortoise in the
Rabbit and the hare is the same
the
thing.
rabbit in the hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just realized that. I'm like rabbit hair. Oh. Yeah. No, that is really the only way to win at something is to just take your time, take the time to like learn what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and then eventually like you will get there. Will take much longer than if you try to do the most
Yeah.
at once, but I mean, you're going to get there instead of like burning out before you even get there or getting there and then like feeling so tired and then you
Mm-hmm.
can't even like continue on after that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And you really, really gotta just start off slow.
mm-hmm,
Like if you're going on a fitness journey, you don't need to cut out absolutely everything and go cold
mm-mm,
turkey. If that works for you, go ahead. But if it doesn't work, then don't cut it all out. It's okay.
mm-mm.
Or like if you're going to start working out, don't be like, I'm going to run a mile every day. Like
Yeah.
say I'm going to run for like 10 minutes every day. And then
Yeah.
you slowly start building on that. I
Or
think
even
it's
start off
easier.
by walking
Mm-hmm.
and then you start running and then you build on that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you could start from literally like zero and build up instead of
Mm-hmm.
like being at zero and then starting at like 50,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh, I'm so tired. I can't run. I've done that. I've done that where like
I have to.
I was like trying to become a runner and I was doing the most. And then I was just like so tired. I did it for like a week and then that was it.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just not meant to be. Like I don't think I'll ever be a runner. I have asthma.
Oh, do you?
I do.
Oh, I didn't know. She has
I
asthma.
do. I have asthma. Do I have my inhaler should be yeah. I was like, if it's not here, then we have a problem. But I have asthma.
Oh,
I
I didn't
cannot
know that.
breathe.
Somebody help me. Yeah, no, I didn't know that about you. That's something new that I learned.
Thank you.
Um
Why am I saying thank you? Thank you.
Thank you for learning more
Thank you for
about me.
learning. Yeah, I mean, like, this is side note. I don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
It's athletically induced, so I can't run.
Mm. Oh, okay, that makes sense then.
Because Zumba's fine, right? You have like one song and then you have a break, and then you have another song and then you have a break, and then you have like
Mm-hmm.
it's there's a break in between every song.
Mm-hmm.
And the songs are at different paces, which is why I
Mm-hmm.
love Zumba so much. But like if I have to like consistently run,
Then you
I
need your
can't do
inhaler.
it. Yeah.
Have you ever had to use your inhaler for Zumba? Has the song
No.
ever been too lit?
No. Well, I mean, songs get too lit, but I've never had to use it because
Mm.
the song gets too lit, and then the next song usually calms it down.
Mm.
Yep.
It's like that, like, what is it called?
Wave.
Hit high intensity
Interval
interval
hit.
training.
Yes. Hit.
Yes.
Hit.
So you speed your heart rate up and then you
Hmm.
lower it and then you speed it up and then you lower it. Yeah,
So yeah, I don't
that
need
makes
it,
sense.
but like I will never be a runner.
Yeah, not at running that track star.
No, not a runner.
I want to work on being a runner, but I haven't started it yet because I feel like I want to start off with walking and
Hmm.
then building up to it. Because I've I've looked up how to run a 5K and that you still have to like basically train for it. You have to build up to it, especially as not being a runner.
Hmm.
I know I'm gonna have to like build up to it. And I have just right now it's not my top priority. So I'm like waiting until I get there. But again, like I know my life best. I know that it's not something that's possible for me right now, but I
Hmm.
could still achieve it if I build up to it later on. So,
Right. And it's like I think that goes back to like resolutions and where you're like your resolution is to run a 5K, but in order to like start training for that, you're like I'm going to run 3 miles every day. It's not
mm-hmm.
possible.
No, you got to build up to it. Like you
Hmm.
got to do like 1 mile. And then there's even like on there, it's like you run like a mile and then you walk and then you run and then you walk again. It's like that oh, excuse me. Again, it's like that hit where you like
Hmm.
run slow, run slow, run slow. So it's
Hmm.
like building to get there and I will get there one day, but not anytime soon. But can we talk about companies taking advantage
Yes.
of us wanting
Yes.
to change our lives in the new year?
Hmm.
All of the fitness stores,
All
they
of
know
them.
everyone's trying to, and that's the thing too. It's like, let's say the new year rolls around, you're like, okay, I'm gonna change my life. I'm gonna be a fitness person. And so you start looking up online, and the first thing you see, okay, I need pre workout. Okay, I need to take this. I need to take that. I need protein. I need this and this. But you don't do the research behind it and like if it's
Hmm.
actually going to work for you and your body. And
Hmm.
so you just spend a bunch of money. You buy new bands, you buy weights, you buy mats instead of just starting off at home following like a video or something and then
Hmm.
slowly getting there. Like you just drop money left and right. And the stores are winning. They don't care. They're like, hell yeah, new year, new you. Come and
Yeah, go
buy
ahead.
from
Work
us.
out. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's insane because it's not even like just fitness. Obviously,
Oh
fitness is
yeah.
like a big one
Mm-hmm.
because, like you said, like there's so many things that people just drop the money on and then probably don't use
Mm-hmm.
for months,
Yeah.
But it's like literally any goal that you have. Like I'm pretty sure
Mhm.
Barnes and Noble has like a big sale at the beginning of the year where
Oh
like you
yeah.
can like buy books and so everyone's like, oh, let me like stock up on books so then I could read and then you never read.
Yeah. 100%. YouTube. People will buy a new camera in the new year because they're like, this is the year I'm gonna do YouTube and go good for you. If you want to do YouTube, do it.
Hmm.
But you don't need a brand new camera. I have a new camera. I still vlog on my iPhone 11,
Hmm.
and it works. It's like you don't have to buy the top of the top something in order
Hmm.
for you to start the YouTube channel. You could just start it, pull out your phone, edit on iMovie or edit on there's a bunch of apps, free apps now. Like now
Hmm.
that TikTok's trending, there's so many apps that you can use on your phone for free and you can just
Hmm.
edit things and you could do it. But people think that they need to buy new things in order for them to be able to start their goals.
Yeah, we've been doing this podcast for like 3 months now and I didn't buy Final Cut.
Yeah, you have iMovie and she's
Yeah,
getting it done.
yeah, I don't need Final Cut.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, I started with iMovie
Hmm.
because actually I started with this one app called like Video Star. And it was like a really like it was a free app. It was very, very basic, but I
Mm-hmm.
used it. And then I bought myself my MacBook, and then I had iMovie. And then eventually, once I was consistent with it, I bought myself Final Cut Pro because
Yeah.
then I could like upgrade. But I was already doing it, I was already being consistent.
Mm-hmm. You just like, I think that's the best part. You reward yourself. It's like
Mm-hmm.
incentives. Instead of buying all these things at the beginning of the year and being like, I'm going to use all this stuff to like accomplish my goals, like build incentives for yourselves. Be like, if I reach this, like make points, right? If you're
Mm-hmm.
starting a fitness journey, at least this is what I did when I started my fitness journey. I was like, I'm not buying any new workout clothes. I'm not buying anything new. I'm going to use what I have. And if I can keep it consistent, not even like a goal weight, I didn't like set a weight, I didn't set anything. I was like, if I can consistently keep this up, I'm eventually going to need things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll just let myself buy it along the way, right?
Yep.
So like when I started losing the weight, I needed more clothes. So then I got to
Yeah.
buy myself clothes, which was like an incentive to keep going because then I can buy more clothes. Or like I needed heavier weights. I think you're
Mm-hmm.
experiencing this right now, right? Like
Yeah.
you need heavier weights. So you gotta like, but you gotta start somewhere. You start with the
Yeah.
5 pound, then you hit the 7, 8, you go to the 10, you keep going.
Yep.
And it's like it's just you incentivize you in
Subscribe. Every time we stutter, subscribe.
subscribe. You incentivize your goals so that you
Mm-hmm.
can buy things along the way.
Yes. Yeah, no, I did that too with my workout or
Hmm.
fitness journey. Like my first journey was a weight loss journey.
Hmm.
And with that one, I remember like the multiple times that I had tried to start a weight loss journey, I would start and stop. But every single time I would buy myself something like, I don't know, a mat. And then I would lose the mat because I would never work out. And
Hmm.
it disappeared. But when I actually stuck with it, I just said, I'm going to start doing home workouts, home videos. And if I keep up with it, then along the way, I'll figure out what I actually need.
Hmm.
So as I started working out and I had like just my basic like workout clothes, there wasn't anything fancy. I think I got them from like Walmart and stuff.
Hmm.
As I was working out, I realized, you know what, big boob problems. I need something that is going to hold me in because I
Hmm.
don't like when I'm doing my
And
jumping
it's
jacks,
just
everything's jiggling.
everything's in the way. Like,
Yeah. So then I did my research and I found a bra, like a sports bra that
hmm.
worked for me, and it changed the game
Hmm.
because now I wasn't, that was like the least of my worries.
Hmm.
Now I needed to focus on incorporating weights. So then I went and I bought some 5 pound weights. And then I
Hmm.
was on those 5 pound weights for a really long time before I got myself 7.5 pound weights.
Hmm.
And then again, I was on those for like maybe a year or two. And I just recently, like November of last year, went up to 10 pounds. So
Hmm.
it's like I was slowly getting there. And as I was going through the journey, I realized what I actually needed instead of just assuming I'm going to buy everything that everyone else is using and then never using it.
Hmm. When I first started bullet journaling, I had the most basic of basic journal, and I had like I used the pens that I had.
Mm-hmm.
And like now I have so many supplies and like a nice journal and like
And
all these
colors
nice
and
things. Yeah, like I have like a bunch of pens that I don't necessarily need, but like I because I've gone so far with it, I feel like I do deserve it because
yes.
I
How
was
many years have you
consistent.
been?
This is year 6, I think.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's awesome. See, and you deserve all of those things that you have now.
Thank you. And it was like what's funny is a lot of them were gifts, luckily, right?
Oh,
Because
really?
yeah, people like know I bullet journal. So they're like, here's
Mm-hmm.
pens. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you so much because I love you.
Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't need all of those to start.
Mm-hmm.
I used what basic supplies I had and
Yeah.
I did what I did with it. And like the paper in my first book is so like thin compared to the
Mm-hmm.
paper I use now. And it's like because I was able to stay so consistent with it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to have nicer supplies now.
Yeah. And when you started out, you didn't know you needed like thicker paper. But as you
No.
went along your bullet journaling eras,
Yeah.
you started to realize, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll get like a notebook with thicker paper. And even like you said, like now you like to pick out your journals because you know
Mhm.
which ones you need
Yeah.
versus like someone just giving you a random notebook and they're like, here for your bullet journals.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna use it. I say I'm very specific with my color choice and my
Hmm.
journal choice.
Yes. and your journal names.
Yes. Yeah. So I've been bullet journaling for 6 years now. I think that's something that I stuck with for a very long time, and I will continue to stick with because I love drawing. Check out link below if you want to check out
Mhm.
my Instagram for it. But Crystal, what is a goal or resolution that you've stuck with, and what did you do differently to stick with this goal?
Mm. Um, well, we talk a lot about fitness. It's just because that was such a big like life
Mm-hmm.
change. So that's the first one that comes to mind. But the second one that comes to mind is probably YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
because that was something I had wanted to do for like so long. And I mean, that list that I just showed, it literally had on there start a YouTube channel in the year
Wow.
2015, because that was like, I didn't want to start it for so long because like high school, you just
Mm-hmm.
feel scared of
Well,
your
yeah, because
peers.
I was gonna say you're with a bunch of teenagers in a school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to start it and then have these people like potentially find my YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, okay, well, I'll wait till I get to college. And I got to college and the same thing kind of happened where I
Mm-hmm.
was like, now I was in this program where we were living in the dorms and I was surrounded by people who we were very like everyone was pretty close. So I was like, oh, if they find out I have a YouTube channel, like I will potentially pass away
Mm-hmm.
because they're going to find out and then they're going to start asking me questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, no, I can't. But then finally, like the year where I was gone from that, I was still going to college, but I wasn't like seeing the same people every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just easier for me to do it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And once I just decided, all right, at this point, I don't care. I finally am like out of that place where people could potentially find my YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm just going to do it. And I did it. I stuck with it. And I wasn't like very consistent from the get go because, again, I was still kind of like fighting that whole like, what if people find out thing? Because I mean, I also had my family who would potentially find out. I had people that I worked with who potentially would find out. And everyone
Mm-hmm.
did find out. And it was so nerve wracking, but everyone was very supportive. Like
Mm-hmm.
once they found out, I feel like I made it a bigger deal than it was.
Mm-hmm.
And when people found out, they were like, "Oh, that's so cool." And like they watched my videos, they supported it, and it was awesome. But yeah, I think that was one of the other goals where I finally stuck to it. And I mean, I've been consistent for years now, like
Mm-hmm.
3 years where I started posting every single Friday and then I post twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that's I think one thing that I actually stuck with. And what I learned from it is that, let me think.
You know what's funny though?
Mm.
I felt that way about the podcast.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, like I was so scared to be posting it on my story because I have like so
Mm-hmm.
many family members that follow me on Instagram. And I was
Mm.
like, oh my God, all these people in my life are gonna find out that I'm talking on the internet for like an hour every week. And like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do? And then I've had several people reach out to me and like say, like, hey, I listened and it's really good. And it felt so
Mm-hmm.
nice. I'm like literally getting warm. Because I
Yeah.
was so nervous. And I did
Yes.
not, like Crystal can say, I did not express how nervous I was. I was like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
let's do this. But like, genuinely, I was like, everyone's gonna know I'm so scared.
Yeah. You know what though? Like, okay, so the second part of that question was what did we do differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that what we finally did was we stopped caring what people were going to think. Now, when you say something like that, because that statement seems so like,
It's not easy either.
yeah, it seems so serious. Like, oh, I stopped caring about what people think. So that means I don't ever care what people think. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's not true. I
Yeah.
still care what people think,
Mm-hmm.
but I still went out and I did it. That's what
Mm-hmm.
happened. It's like, it's like so weird. I don't even know how to explain. It's like I stopped caring, but I didn't stop caring, but I
It's
stopped caring
still
enough
there.
to go
Yeah.
through
It's
with it.
still
Yeah.
there. I still am, terrified of who's listening.
Yeah.
If I got any family members listening right now, hi, I'm terrified that you're listening. But it's not even about that. It's our lives.
Yeah.
If we decide to put it out there, that's our decision.
Yeah.
Who is someone else to come in and be like, you shouldn't be doing that, or like saying anything negative about it?
Mhm.
So it's like you said, it's to an extent that you
Mhm.
stop caring.
Yeah.
I stopped caring about the negative and I started
Yeah.
caring more about the positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, like it's always a bigger deal in our head than it is in reality. Like I'm starting a new job and I'm scared that people might find out again because that a whole group of new people that I don't
Mhm.
know that might potentially find this other side of me, you know?
Mhm.
But at the same time, like, why do I care?
Mhm.
Like, they're just gonna be my coworkers, you know? And at the end
You're
of
just
the
going to get
day,
paid.
yeah, I'm just here to work.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, like if they have something to say, like what am I gonna do? Just stop doing something I'm passionate about because
One person said something
Susie
negative to
and
you.
in headquarters thinks it's stupid. All
Mhm.
right, Susie, like who cares? I'm enjoying this. Susie's like, what did I say? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's to an extent. Like you still
Mhm.
care, but just about the right things, about the right
Mhm.
feedback.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I don't know. Most of the time everyone's supportive. I think people fear you honestly though back then it was more of like a worrying thing because it was so brand new. But
Mhm.
now literally everyone does it. Even like your aunts and your uncles are making TikTok videos. Everyone's online, you know?
Mhm.
So there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, they post everything on Facebook, so
Yeah. Yeah, no, literally my dad, he's like, I gotta update my Facebook. And he like goes and takes a picture.
Mhm.
So it's like it's funny. Like now everyone it's so normal. So
And
there's
we know that dad listens to the pod.
oh yeah, hi dad.
Hi, dad. Because
Yeah.
he's over here making Crystal's wish list come true.
Yeah, I got my new hard drive and
Mhm.
everything. Yeah. Oh, and hi, Christina. Us just like, hi, mom. Hi, Christina.
Hi,
Hi, dad.
Crystal's family.
Yes. No, yeah, that everyone's been supportive of it. And so
Mhm.
I'm just very, very grateful for him.
That's one thing that helps you stay motivated is like when you have these goals and people are just giving you words of affirmation and they're
Mm-hmm.
supporting you and it motivates you to keep going.
Yes.
As bad as it is, that's why I like focus more on the positive feedback over the negative because the positive is what's going to help you keep going, whereas the negative is going to make you deter away from it and maybe not want
Mm-hmm.
to accomplish.
Yes.
Hmm.
Ooh, perfectly said. Yeah. No, if you have a good system, like good support system,
Yeah.
it's so much easier to keep up with your goals. But like I mean, if even if you don't have a good support system, like you could do it yourself, you
Hmm.
know. You can cheer yourself on,
You got to
but
be your own support system sometimes. Like from personal experience, sometimes there are people in your life who are just negative towards you and they will
mm-hmm,
always be that way. And there's nothing you can do about it. Like that's how they view you, that's how they see you, that's how they treat you. What are you
mm-hmm.
going to do? You could change so many things about yourself and they still might find something to
Oh
say about
yeah.
you. They still might like find something to pick on you about. And
Mm-hmm.
so instead of focusing on that person and all the negative stuff they have to say, do it for you. Be your own
Yes.
support system. If they're not going to support you, there's, if you don't have anyone to support yourself. It's not easy.
Yes.
It's the hardest thing to do, but it is the best thing to do because I say all the time, you come into this world alone, you're going to leave this world alone.
Mm-hmm.
So you might as well be there for yourself.
Yes. Ooh, I love that. Actually, like kind of going back to the whole like support system thing too. I'm very grateful to have such a good support system.
Hmm.
And it really does help me because, I feel like it's so easy to like bring yourself down. Like
Hmm.
you spend the most time, I guess, kind of like, man, this is again like the whole thing where it's not black and white. Nothing
Yeah.
is black and white. There's so many gray areas, but like
Hmm.
you can support yourself so much, but yet still you might find ways to like bring yourself back down.
Hmm.
And it can be so easy to point out all of the bad things about you, all of the bad habits, all of the things that you do wrong, all of the negatives, because you spend so much time with yourself. And also, like, I think it's so much easier to tear yourself down too than to like tear someone else down. Um, and sometimes I'll get into these like little funks where I'm like, oh, I'm dumb, or like, oh,
I'm
why
not good
do,
enough. Like,
yeah, I'm not good
hmm.
enough. Like, why am I making YouTube videos? Like, no one cares. Like, why am I doing this? You know?
Hmm.
But what really helps me is to view myself through the lens of someone that loves me. And that has helped
Mm.
me a lot. So like
Ooh.
I'll view myself through the lens of like my dad. My dad supports me so much. I'm like, oh, my dad thinks that I'm very passionate about my goals and I'm going after it. Like
Hmm.
he's always looking at my YouTube videos and he's lifting me up. He's supporting me, all of these things. Or sometimes when I'm feeling dumb, I think back to like literally this one time Ruby told me how like she was talking to someone and she was like, oh, my best friend, she's so smart. And I'm like, look, Ruby thinks that I'm so smart, like
Hmm.
view yourself through the lens of people who love you. And that just really helps you. Cause again, like it's so easy to view yourself through a negative light when you're just thinking about yourself. But if you step into someone else's shoes, it's like, okay, you know what? I'm not dumb. I'm smart because Ruby thinks so, you know?
Mhm.
And like, that's why I also like, I started learning to like compliment people. Like, if you think that someone's really good at something, let them know because those little moments can mean so much more than like you think
Mhm.
they like will. I don't know how to say it. They will impact them, I guess.
Yeah,
They'll
I
impact them
mean,
more than you think.
even if it's a stranger, like one of my favorite things to do is like if I'm talking to a cashier or like, I don't know, I love complimenting strangers. It's one of my favorite
Mhm.
things. I'm just like, I like making people's days, you know?
Mhm.
Like you're going to a store and they have a really cool outfit on, like just say they have a really cool outfit on. They will appreciate that. That might stay with
Mhm.
them. That might make their day. Like you never know what someone else is going through. So
Oh
you might as
yeah.
well be nice.
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
Mhm.
So start being kinder to each other and start being kinder to yourself and
Yeah.
be gentle with yourself, especially when it comes to these New Year's resolutions, goals, manifestations, affirmations, whatever you call them. Be kind to yourself, be gentle. Don't expect yourself to be amazing from the get-go. Don't
Mhm.
expect yourself to like lose weight within the first week. You have to be consistent with things. You have to keep showing up for yourself and finding what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And your routine, your life does not have to look like everybody else's. It's going to be specific to you. So just focus on yourself and complete those goals, those resolutions that you have, and then you'll I don't know. I was on a roll and then
You
my
were
mind
on
went.
such a roll, and I was literally about to applaud you and be like, "Oh my god, Crystal, that was so well said."
Oh, that's because I got a text message from someone and I was like,
Just got distracted. She
that's so
everything
funny.
before she rambled at the end was beautifully said. You know, I second everything, and just know that we love you.
Yes, we do. Each and every single one of you.
Yes, we are here. Yep. We've reached the end of this one, everyone. We want to obviously thank you. You know what? We appreciate all of you for listening. And again, like I said, if you don't have a support system, you have support from us. There's
Yes.
people out there who I don't care who you are. I believe in you.
Yes, we believe in you listening right
Mhm.
now, watching
Yep.
us. We believe in you. And make sure that you guys subscribe so that you guys can keep coming back and we'll
Yes.
keep supporting you.
Mhm.
And we'll keep thanking you for watching.
Incentivize.
Yeah. No, but yeah, no, we are really grateful for each and every single one of you for being here and for checking out our channel, listening to us, checking us out on our social medias, which are always linked down below if you guys want to check us out there.
Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts. Make sure to check
Yes.
out those three. You know what? We have a goal this year. Hopefully, we'll be on iTunes soon, guys. We just have to figure out the whole copyright music thing because we don't know if this music is going to copyright us and we don't want to get in trouble with Apple.
No, Apple's scary.
Mhm. But hopefully, that's a goal. Check us,
Yes.
make sure, keep us accountable. If you
Hmm.
guys listen to iTunes podcasts, like comment down below and let us know. Be like, guys, iTunes, and we'll get
Hmm.
there one day.
Yes. We'll work on it.
But
We'll
yeah.
feel the pressure and we'll work on it.
Yes, yeah, we'll be reminded every week. Someone be like,
Yeah.
iTunes, iTunes, and we're like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. We have to do that. So thank you for listening, and sorry for this, fam.
Bye, guys.
See you later.